When does ROIC matter more than the ROEs? The return on invested capital versus the return on equity. When does ROIC matter more than the ROE? Again, interview question, tricky one, leaves many candidates confused. So let's focus into this. ROE and ROIC, both of them are the return metrics, but only one gives you the full picture. ROE tells you how well the shareholders are rewarded, but ROIC tells you how efficiently the capital is being used. Let's break down where ROIC becomes a more powerful perspective. Yeah. Let's start with what each of them actually measures. ROE looks at profit relative to the equity. It is something for your equity investors. Yeah, it measures the returns for your equity investors. Whereas ROIC looks at profit relative to the entire capital. It gives you the returns which are meant for both your debt investors as well as your equity investors. In the actual IB world, equity is rarely the full story. You look at the firm wide perspective because you're selling off an entire firm or you're buying the entire firm. So the entire capital story is of a bigger importance, at least in case of investment banking transactions. Yeah. Next, when there is a leverage and that may distort the picture. A company may have a high debt and still show a strong ROE. This is because the equity base may be small, but that does not mean that the business is going strong. In fact, it may just be that it is leveraged. ROIC filters that out. It will ask this question: how much return is the business generating on all the capital that it is using, not just the equities? Yeah. When you're actually evaluating the main or the real value creation here, this will matter. A business can have a high ROE, but it can still earn less than its cost of capital. And that means it is destroying value. It is generating returns below the cost of capital, below the cost at which it is getting its funds through. It's degrading, it's ruining the profitability. Yeah. ROIC versus WACC, the cost of capital, will show this to you. If ROIC will be consistently lower than WACC, it is definitely eroding the business perspective, business value, instead of creating it. Yeah. Next is when you review the capital allocation. Suppose that the business is reinvesting the profits. There are reinvestment. Every business needs some sort of reinvestments in order to survive, sustain itself, or grow. Yeah. And examples of these type of reinvestments are your capex projects, any kind of acquisitions. You want to know where those decisions are paying off. ROIC helps you assess the return on the fresh capital. ROE does not. It just shows the return on existing equity. Yeah. Next is when comparing across the capital structures. You cannot compare ROEs between a low debt and a high debt company fairly. Leverage inflates ROE without telling you the full risk. ROIC will give you a neutral lens. It takes the debt out of the equation and focuses on the operation. Yeah. Next, when building a DCF, DCF is based on free cash flows and WACC. So naturally, ROIC plays a more relevant role here. It helps you judge whether returns exceed the cost of capital, which drives the valuation. ROE doesn't tie to DCF logic the same way. Yeah. Lastly, using the right lens. ROE tells you what equity holders are getting. ROIC tells you how well capital, all of it, is actually being put to use. Use both of them. But if you want to judge management efficiency, look at ROIC first. Yeah. So if you liked the way of learning, the way I spoke, the way I explained the concept, this is how I teach every weekend at Wizenius Investment Banking Program. It is a live program, live training where we go beyond theory and focus on how to think, communicate, and operate like an investment banker. If this sounds like the learning that you need, you can check the link of this program in the description, or you can reach out to me. I have given my contact details in the description. I'm waiting to speak to you. This is Pratik signing off. Thank you.